announcing the rosters for this afternoon's contest. Playing for the University of San Diego High School Dons, number 6, Maria Santani. Number 7, Katie Hess. Number 12, Lynn Warnamunde. Number 14, Nicole Howard. And starting for the Dons, batting first at shortstop, number 17, Erin Ferris. At third base, number 10, Sky Engels. At center field, number 15, Chandra Ross. At second base, number 9, Nicole Ellis. Pitching, number 8, Laura Ibarra. Pitching, number 2, Yvette Vasquez. In the left field, number 4, Caitlin Goldbranson. Batting designated hitter, number 3, Zakara Beverly. At first base, number 20, Krista Goldbranson. And at right field, number 11, Heather Egan. The Dons are coached by Margaret Morrow with assistants Kelly O'Neill, Claire Alves, and Tasha Egan. Number 6, Candace Lamar. Number 7, Kathy Turpin. And number 11, Jill Schlegel. And the starting lineup. Batting first, catcher number 3, Joni. In right field, number 15, Genevieve Murphy. Pitching, number 9, Marianne Rogalski. Second base, number 1, Amanda Reynolds. Third base, number 13, Marlena Aiden. First base, number 4, Julie Young. Left fielder, number 12, Michelle Aguirre. Shortstop, number 8, Amanda McGill. And center fielder, number 14, Anna Miller. San Diego section of the...
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Williams, and on behalf of George Langevin Sports Video Productions, I'd like to welcome you to the campus of UCSD. We're at the Triton Baseball Complex for today's section of San Diego CIF 1998 Division III High School Softball Championships. Out on the field, we've got one of the teams that will be participating in this Division III championship game from Mission Bay High School. It's the Buccaneers. They're going to be going up against the Dons from the University of San Diego High School. Let's take a look at the rosters for this Bucks team. So we are about ready to get underway. The Mission Bay Bucks, they are the home team in this game. The Dons from the University of San Diego High School, they are visitors. They will be up first, and at the plate, it's going to be Erin Ferris, number 17. Ferris plays shortstop for the Dons. And we are just underway. That first ball by Corianne Rogalski of the Bucks is a strike, and so it's no balls and 1 strike. Chopper to the shortstop. Nice throw. Stretching high was Julie Young at first base. She pulls the ball down, and that will be out number 1 for the Dons. Easy chopper to be picked up on this nice playing field that we're at. And it was a nice throw by Amanda McGill for the Bucks as out number 1. Coming up now, Sky Engels. Sky Engels, number 10, she plays in the position of third base for the Dons. Let's take a look at the entire playing roster. you saw the introductions, and now we're out on the field on the mound for the Bucks. That's number 9, Corianne Rogalski. Her catcher behind the plate is Joni Colburn. At first base, Julie Young. Second base is Amanda Reynolds. At third base is Marlena Reynolds. Number 8, Amanda McGill. Number 7, Rochelle Aguirre. Number 14, Anna Miller is center field. And right field is Genevieve Nolte. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 against Sky Ingles, so it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the first inning in this game, no score. Nice day here in La Jolla. Taking the ball, almost wanted to go for it, but holds off on the high fastball. And so now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's low, and they're going to call it a strike as Ingles kind of took a short swing, caught off guard by the speed of the pitch, and that'll be out number 2 for the Dons. So it's 2 up and 2 down, easy going right now for the Bucks and Corianne Rogalski. She hopes that the day continues like that. But the Dons have other ideas as Chandri Ross appears at the plate. Ross plays center field for the Dons, wears number 15. No ball, or 1 ball that is, early in the game. We talked about we're at La Jolla UCSD, beautiful field. We're here every year, and right now we have no clouds in the sky at all. And that's ball number 2, as that's low as well. Beautiful day, slight breeze coming from behind home plate out into the center field line, and so that's going to help carry the ball if you get a hold of one. Strike right in there at the knees. And Corianne Rogalski doesn't really take much time. You can see she's really fired up out there. She's pounding her mitt, pounding the ball. Swing and a miss as the ball stays low. And so now it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And Chandri Ross trying to find the ball and put it into play. So the first out was an easy chopper, went 6-3. Strikeout recorded against Sky Ingles. That one is low, so we're going to have a full count here, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Coming up behind Chandri, if she gets on board, is going to be Nicole Ellis. Nicole Ellis, second base for the Dons. No score, just underway, top of the first inning. Fouled behind. That was a low pitch. Chandri Ross went after it, got a piece of it, fouled off behind, and so the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. Corianne Rogalski continuing to pound that ball into her mitt. Right-handed pitcher, has good speed. Let's see what she can do right here. Nice drive into center field. That's going to go over Anna Miller's head, and that's going to roll through the fence, and that will be a ground rule double for Chandri Ross. So Ross got a piece of that one. A nice swing, connected hard, sailed right into center field. It was Anna Miller who was racing as she turned quickly on the ball, but the ball scooted out there even faster, and we've got, with 2 out, Chandri Ross with a stand-up double for the Dons, standing at second base. And coming up now, Nicole Ellis. Nicole Ellis, a freshman, one of the 5 freshmen on this team, and what's more interesting, Nicole Ellis, one of the 3 freshmen in the starting lineup for this very talented Dons team. Ball skips out in front. That's a good stop by Joni Colburn, the catcher behind the plate. So it's Rogalski and Colburn again, pitcher and catcher for the Bucks team. Laura Ibarra, another freshman, is on deck as Nicole Ellis takes a swing. It's a chopper. Can it be handled in time? Safe is the call to third, and they're safe. So moving up and having a hard time handling the ball were the Bucks. The throw was late. Nicole Ellis able to beat the throw. An error will be called. Advancing on the throw to first base to try and get Ellis was Chandri Ross. And so Laura Ibarra can help her own cause right here. She's got runners at first and third, 2 out, and here's the pitch. Taken low for ball 1. So you've got Chandri Ross at third base, Nicole Ellis at first base, Ibarra at the plate. Nicole Ibarra, the pitcher for the Dons, she would love to be able to get a base hit and drive in at least 1 run and help herself out here in the top half of the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on first and third. Swing and a miss by Ibarra, so that's going to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Corianne Rogalski continuing to fire that ball into her mitt, getting her pumped up. Rogalski with the pitch. There's a swing, and that's going to be an easy fly ball to number 4, Julie Young, and that'll be the 3rd out. We'll call it a soft fly to first base. And so after 1/2 inning of play, it's still no score, and coming up to bat are the Mission Bay Bucks. Joni Colburn at the plate takes low for ball 1. Let's take a look at the defensive roster for the Dons. Pitching on the mound, freshman sensation Laura Ibarra. Catching for her, Yvette Vasquez. At first base is Krista Gulbranson. Second base is Nicole Ellis. Third base, Sky Ingalls. Shortstop for the Dons is Erin Ferris. Left field is Caitlin Gulbranson. Center field, as we see a fly ball. Chandri Ross plays the center field position, and Heather Egan is going to be right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes against the first batter being faced by Laura Ibarra, which is Joni Colburn. Colburn, catcher, fouls it off, so the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both of these teams have had a lot of experience in post-game playoff and championship experience, and of course they're here today going up against one another. Big swing and a miss for strikeout number 1 recorded for Ibarra and against Joni Colburn. Coming up next is Genevieve Nolte. Nolte, right field for the Bucks.
Right fielder, Genevieve Nolte.
We mentioned it earlier, against the Bucks is going to be 3 freshmen starting for the Dons defensively. Nicole Ellis, position second base. Laura Ibarra, the pitcher. And then Caitlin Gulbranson, who plays left field. For the Bucks, they have no freshmen on their team, as they are peppered with a couple sophomores, a couple juniors, but the mainstay of this Bucks game is their seniors. Nice bunt. Genevieve Nolte lays down a great ball and is able to easily beat out that pitch. There was actually no throw on it, as having a tough time handling the ball was Ibarra. So there was no throw attempt to first base, and so Genevieve Nolte gets on with the base hit. Nice bunt. Corianne Rogalski now up at the plate. Rogalski will try and move Nolte to the next base. One out so far in this bottom half of the first inning on the strikeout recorded against Colburn. Ibarra, Yvette Vasquez behind the plate as the catcher. Ball one is called. For the Buccaneers, they play out of the Western League. They are seeded number 2 coming into this.
Now batting for the Buccaneers, pitcher Corianne Rogalski.
And for the Dons themselves, they were seeded number 5 entering into the playoff picture. So you've got the Mission Bay team. And stealing, throw. She's going to be called safe. The throw was late by Vasquez as the ball came in off speed, gave a good jump for Genevieve Nolte to make it to second base safely. And so now with one out, you've got Nolte at second base. Still at the plate is Rogalski with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. So it was the 5th seed Dons playing against the 2nd seed Bucks right here in this championship game. Nice swing. That's going to be fouled off by Rogalski, so the count goes 2-2. Bottom half of the first inning, no score. For the Dons, they came up. They left a couple men on base. Third out coming to a soft fly to the first baseman. Right here in the bottom half of the first inning, we've got a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Corianne Rogalski. And let's see what Rogalski can do. Laura Ibarra, just a freshman on this team. Good pitch in there for a strike. And Ibarra comes up big on the inside side of the plate. It's Corianne Rogalski caught looking, and that's strikeout number 2 recorded by Laura Ibarra. Now at the plate, Amanda Reynolds. Reynolds plays second base for the Bucks, wears number 1 on her jersey. Reynolds at the plate. Nolte at second base. 2 out now. Late swing. That'll be a foul off on the right side. Good jump on the ball was Genevieve Nolte. If contact wouldn't have been made, I think Nolte would have made it to third safely. She had a great jump on that. Nolte showing some exceptional speed for the Mission Bay Bucks. Nine veterans back on the team. Chopper to third base. Nice stretch by Krista Gulbranson, and that'll do it for the Bucks. After Genevieve Nolte got on base with a bunt and moved to second, it was a strikeout recorded by Rogalski, and then a play going 5-3, and that does it for the Bucks. So after 1 inning of play, still no score. So it's top half of the second inning. Yvette Vasquez, who is the catcher for the Dons, takes low, and that will be ball number 1. We are just underway, top half of the second, no score. On the mound for the Bucks is Corianne Rogalski. That time right in there at the knees, taking strike. So Yvette Vasquez at the plate, batting left-handed. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. And still fired up on the mound is Corianne Rogalski. She slams that ball into her mitt. Here she comes on the pitch. That's high. Off-speed pitch, laying off it is Vasquez, and she now takes the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. This defense of the Bucks peppered with veterans. 9 veterans coming back from the team that lost to Sarah 1-0 in the 1997 semifinals. But the Buccaneers have gotten even better with the addition of Rogalski on the mound, who moved to California from her home in Virginia. Rogalski is a tall athlete with a good strong arm, and that's right in there. Late swing by Vasquez sends the count to 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck for the Dons is Caitlin Gulbranson. Designated hitter for her is Zakara Beverly. So base on balls. Yvette Vasquez gets onto first base safely with the base on balls. And coming up to bat as the designated hitter for Caitlin Gulbranson is Zakara Beverly. Zakara trying to put a bunt down, and that'll go foul as it just eked out on the left field line. As a matter of fact, if the Bucks would have jumped on that ball a little bit sooner, they would have pounced on the ball before it went foul. It had a tough backspin on it. And so attempted bunt by Beverly goes for strike 1. Ball is low, so it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Attempted bunt and getting back quickly. And Vasquez is going to have to be aware of that as she was off the base and got back just in the nick of time. Throw was high, got past Young, but Vasquez now has to be aware that they're going to be able to attempt to throw, and she's got to stay close to first base on these pitches. Attempted strike, designated hitter Zakara Beverly goes down, and that's going to be recorded as a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Rogalski. On the mound. Scheduled up to the plate right now is Krista Gulbranson, first baseman for the Dons. Also on a bunt attempt. This time they lay down a nice one, but the throw is in time, and that gets Gulbranson. So that's out number 2, but in the bunt, they advance Yvette Vasquez to second base. And so now coming up is Heather Egan. Egan, a right fielder for the Dons. Nice ball. That's going to be right in there. 2 out here in the top half of the second inning, still no score. Heather Egan going up against Corianne Rogalski. That time it's low. At second base for the Dons is Yvette Vasquez. On deck is the top of the lineup for the Dons. That's Erin Ferris. Ferris was out in a throw 6-3 when she was up. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. And Rogalski is really fired up in this game. You got to be in this type of atmosphere. Playing in is the outfield. That time it's low, so it's going 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rachel Aguirre, Anna Miller, and Genevieve Nolte, all of them are playing very shallow in their outfield positions. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball is low, so now the count being run to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count with 2 out. On the move will be Vasquez. And fouling it off, a good swing by Heather Egan. Count stays at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kind of cool breeze picking up every once in a while. When it dies down, it is actually very warm as we have got beautiful blue skies. Chopper to first base. Nice shuttle over, and that'll do it for the Dons. They leave 1 at second base, and so after 1.5 innings of play, it's still no score. You're watching the San Diego CIF Section Softball Championships in the Division III, and it's being brought to you in part by one of the major sponsors here in San Diego of CIF. That's the Arco AM/PM Corporation. Of course, this game is being brought to you by George Langevin Sports Video Productions. Anytime you're watching super action championship games in youth sports, you know it's being brought to you by the leader in Game of the Week coverage. It's George Langevin. So bottom half of the second inning now for the Bucks. Marlena Aiden.
Where'd he go to now?
Now batting for the Buccaneers.
Aiden, third base. Takes a strike, and Ibarra comes right back. Always nice to get the first pitch in as a strike. It really helps you out mentally and gets you in that groove. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. You know, the San Diego CIF Arco AM/PM 1998 softball championships have been held the last few years right here at UCSD. We're at the Triton Baseball Complex. Close pitch, called ball, so that'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes. Really enjoy coming here to this field as it's really a nice one. And of course right here you're watching Division III, and you're also watching another strikeout recorded by Ibarra as Aiden goes down swinging for out number 1. Now coming up onto the deck and onto the plate for her appearance. First appearance of this game is Julie Young, young first baseman for the Bucks. Ibarra now has 3 strikeouts recorded. Looking strong. Well, the Dons themselves in the playoff seeding started out in seed number 5, playing out of the Western League. They had an overall record of 12, 11, and 1. It was the Dons who edged out Serra 1-0 last year for the 1997 Division III championship. They'd like to repeat going up against Mission Bay. Soft fly right into the waiting glove of Sky Ingalls, and so that's going to be out number 2 for the Dons. So the fly goes to third base, and now coming up is Rochelle Aguirre. Aguirre playing left field for the Bucks. Bottom half of the second inning, no score, 2 out. Swing and a miss on a great ball by Ibarra that speeds right at the knees. We mentioned that the Dons edged out Serra 1-0 for the championship last year, and then it was the Bucks who actually lost 1-0 to Serra in the semifinals. So it was Serra beating these same Bucks last year to get to the championship to go up against the Dons, and of course the Dons became the 1997 champions last year. Another strikeout recorded by Ibarra as Aguirre goes down swinging, and that was 3 up and 3 down, an easy cruising inning for the Dons and Ibarra, and after 2 full innings of play, still no score. So it's top half of the third inning. Dons will be coming up to the plate. Coming up top of the order for the Dons, number 17, Aaron Ferris. Ferris grounded out 6-3 her first attempt. She takes ball 1. This is a great division to watch play. You thought Division I was competitive, that is. This division wound up with 3 teams upsetting higher seeds to get to the semifinals. Castle Park was the only playoff team to make it as far as they did with a sub-500 record, but of course that didn't stop them from downing the top-seeded University City team. Off-speed pitch is low, so going to keep it now. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Mission Bay became the only team left among the top 4 original seeded teams left in the playoff picture. Of course, they are here today going up against the Dons, who again we had mentioned were seeded 5th overall coming into this. The only meetings this season between any of the teams was, of course, Mission Bay going up against USDHS. Nice throw by the shortstop, Amanda McGill. And Ferris is out, and that's out number 1 in this inning. So the play goes 6-3, and that's the exact same play that Ferris got out her first time up, 6-3. Sky Ingalls is up for her second time. Ingalls struck out her first time up. Ball 1. So it's 1 out, nobody on. Sky Ingalls, third baseman for the Dons, is up. Two balls and no strikes. For the Dons offensively, their leadoff batter, Aaron Ferris, batting .365 for the season, was the only all-league first-teamer from the Dons. But we got to give congratulations to Ferris. Had a super productive offensive season. Pitcher Laura Ibarra, who had 10 RBIs, made the second team. Some of the other leaders on this very talented team: Chandri Ross batted .343, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and Nicole Ellis, 8 RBIs. 3 balls, 1 strike to Sky Ingalls. She's going to try and work a walk right here, and that's what she's going to get, as the 4th pitch sails way low. And so Ingalls draws a base on balls with 1 out. You've got Chandri Ross at the plate. Head coach for the Dons, Margaret Morrow. Kelly O'Neill and Claire Alves, assistant coaches. Margaret Morrow, consistently one of the great coaches in softball, been around for a long time, has great history, great win record, and of course she's just a super person. You see her over there walking up and down around the third base side, and she just smiles. She's got a great sense of humor, great coach. The kids really like her. And trying to play around at first base, Ingalls. On deck, Nicole Ellis. Ellis reached safely on first base, her first time up, on an error by the Bucks. 2 balls, no strikes to Chandri. Chandri, a senior this year. Late call, strike 1, so it's 3 balls, 1 strikes. We mentioned for the Dons, they've got 5 freshmen overall on this team. 2 shortstop, turning the forced play, not in time for the double, but forced out at second base is Sky Ingalls. That play goes 6-4 on the fielder's choice, and that's out number 2. So Ross is on board at first base. 2 out, and now coming up is Nicole Ellis. Ellis again reaching first base on an error in the first inning. Off-speed pitch. Boy, that was a nice one. A little high, but boy, you can really see the diversity that Rogalski has. Rogalski can send the ball screaming in there, and then she can send an off-speed pitch that's really going to play. Ball gets by, so advancing is Ross to second base.
Pass ball. Ross
The ball actually hit the mitt of Joni Colburn, just couldn't stay in. We had talked about the speed. The prior pitch before that was the off-speed pitch, and then Rogalski came right back with some heat, and Colburn couldn't quite hang on. That one's going to be low, and so it's now 3 balls and no strikes. Top half of the third, 2 outs, still no score. And that's going to be called strike. Looked like it was right at the knees on the outside corner. Nicole Ellis looking for a called ball. Nice drive. That's going to go into center field. And a nice throw by Anna Miller to keep Chandry at third base, but on the throw coming in and with a double will be Nicole Ellis. So a double for Nicole Ellis. Now moving to third base is Chandry Ross. And now at the plate once again to help herself is Laura Ibarra. This one is low. So with 2 out, we've got runners at second and third. With a double, Nicole Ellis, one of the freshmen. It was basically a single, but with the throw coming in towards the plate to cut off the advancing runner Chandry at third, it was Ellis able to go. Foul ball by Ibarra. So a lot of action heating up here now with 2 outs in the top of the third. And that's coach right there, Morrow, instructing Ibarra on trying how to play this one. 2 out. So they want to try and get contact with the ball, off-speed pitch. That's going to be called strike number 2. I tell you what, both of the pitchers really showing some good confidence. Coming right in, strike 3 called. And a huge pitch by Corianne Rogalski as Ibarra is standing at the plate, call strike 3, and that ends the threat by the Dons in the first half of the third inning, top half. 2 men left on the bases, and so after 2.5 innings of play, it's still no score. Bottom half of the third inning, no score. Bucks now at the plate. Bunt laid down, and it's going to be a nice one. Throwing hard and called safe, Amanda McGill. So Amanda lays down a nice bunt and beats out the throw, and so she's safely on at first base. Anna Miller will now be up for the Bucks. Anna Miller again playing center field. She'll try and advance Amanda McGill. In the prior inning, it was Ibarra getting the players out 1, 2, 3, recording 2 strikeouts. She'd like to get a couple more right now and get out of this inning. Bottom half of the third. Right now on first base, Amanda McGill. Nice bunt. Beats out a close throw, actually. The throw was really close. It was the blue on the first base side that had to make a tough call. He called it safe, and that's where we've got it right now. Another bunt. This time the throw is in time to get Anna Miller, but advancing to second base is Amanda McGill on the sacrifice bunt. So there's one out. Amanda McGill now advances to second base, and coming up is the top of the order, number 3, Joni Colburn.
Now batting for the Buccaneers, catcher Joni Colburn.
So it's 2 Gatorades and a hot dog?
Joni Colburn up at the plate. Colburn making the second all-league team. Congratulations to her. Some of the Bucks' best hitters we've got on this team. Genevieve Nolte batting .513. Along with Genevieve, you've got Amanda Reynolds and the leadoff batter, Joni Colburn. Again, Colburn, congratulations on making an all-league second team selection. Head coach for the Bucks, David Cochran. His assistant coach is John Reynolds. Joni Colburn plays the catcher position. She's a junior this year. Another bunt on the ground. This time the throw again is in time. But again, advancing now to third base is Amanda McGill. So it's a sacrifice bunt going 1-3. And advancing now to third base is Amanda McGill.
Nicole Branson on the putout. Now batting.
So actually three consecutive bunts. It was the bunt that got Amanda Gill on. Anna Miller had a sacrifice bunt to advance her, and then Joni Colburn advances her. So now it's going to be Genevieve Nolte. And we mentioned Nolte before. Nolte has the best record. And Nolte, with a .513 average during the season, tries to catch the Dons off guard with a bunt of herself. But once again, that goes 1-3, and that's 3 outs. So at the end of 3 innings, we still have no score.
We have no score.
Top half of the 4th inning, no score. At the plate, Yvette Vasquez. Vasquez drew a base on balls her first time up in the 2nd inning. She'll take a strike on the first pitch by Corianne Rogalski. Let's take a look at some of the Division III first-round action and kind of get some history of how we got here. Both the Dons and the Bucks were idle during the first round of play. It was Castle Park edging out Mar Vista in 8 innings, 2-1. La Jolla beat East Lake 3-1, and it was Ramona 12, San Dieguito Academy 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes up against Vasquez. In the quarterfinals, to the shortstop, nice throw. So it was an easy grounder to Amanda McGill, who's been very busy this game. She easily throws out Vasquez on the throw of 6-3, and that's out number 1 for the Dons. Coming up now is Kate Gulbranson. Her designated hitter for her is Zakara Beverly. So Beverly, the designated hitter, last time out, tried to bunt to get on base, ended up striking out her first time up in the 2nd inning. And so now it's Beverly, the designated hitter for Gulbranson. She takes strike 1. Nice swing. That's going to be chopped and fouled back behind the plate for strike number 2. So for Beverly, she now has no balls and 2 strikes going against her, 1 out, and we are in the top half of the 4th inning. In the quarterfinals action, Castle Park edged out University 3-2. It was Ramona over Hilltop 1-0. And on this swing and the ball getting by, it was the run to first base by Beverly, but the throw is in time, and that's out number 2 for the Dons.
Now batting for the Dons,
Krista Gulbranson.
first baseman Krista Gulbranson.
She's coming up. She'll be at the plate. On deck behind her is Heather Egan. 2 up and 2 down for Rogalski. She'd like to get out here and have an easy inning for herself. That first pitch is ball 1. So in the quarterfinals, it was the Dons matching up against Coronado. It was the Dons who came out on top 3-2. When the Bucks came into play in the quarterfinals, they were matched up against La Jolla, and it was the Mission Bay Bucks outscoring the La Jolla Vikings 6-1. Semifinals then had Castle Park going up against the Dons, and you had Ramona going up against Mission Bay. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, top half of the 4th inning. At the plate, Krista Gulbranson, the first baseman for the Dons. Tall player, nicely suited to play first base. Striking red hair and braids today. Rogalski still throwing hard on the mound. And it's an off-speed pitch, and that one is a huge break in speed. She'll come back with some heat, and then she'll throw in an off-speed pitch like that. Really, it's such a tremendous difference in speed, but it's actually the batters that do lay off it. I don't think we've had anybody go after it, but what it does, it sets up the next pitch. And the next pitch usually is a heater that comes up by Corianne. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Let's see what Rogalski comes back with right now. Probably some heat. That's going to be low, right below the knees. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Rogalski's bread and butter pitch is the fastball at the knees. She sets it up nicely with her off speed and changeup, but right now she has no choice with 3 balls, 2 strikes to come right back with the heat. Ball put in play to third base. Nice throw by Marlena Aiden, and that will end the inning for the Dons. This time it is 3 up and 3 down. Final play 5-3, and that'll do it with no runs, still no score. So we are back, bottom half of the 4th inning, no score. Right now it's Laura Ibarra going up against her counterpart, Corianne Rogalski. Rogalski struck out her first time up in the 1st inning. First swing and taking a piece of the ball for a strike is Rogalski. Ibarra on the mound at first base, Gulbranson, Ellis at second, Ingalls at third, Ferris at shortstop. Gulbranson, Ross, and Egan are the outfielders. Strike 2 off the foul, and so now it's no balls and 2 strikes to Rogalski. On deck is Amanda Reynolds. Amanda Reynolds grounded out 5-3 her first time at bat. Low call for its ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, in that semifinals matchup, it was the Dons going up against Castle Park. For the Dons, it was Chandri Ross who hit a 2-run homer and had 5 RBIs as the then 5th-seeded Dons pulled away for a huge win over the, at that time, the 8th-seeded Castle Park. Just inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch by Ibarra, It's popped up to shallow. Calling for it is Ibarra. And so the fly ball taken by Ibarra is recorded as out number 1 for the Bucks. Amanda Reynolds, second baseman, wearing number 1 on the jersey. To finish out the story for the Dons playing Castle Park in that semifinal game, the defending champions Dons on a bunt, and it's a nice one, but in time. So laying down the bunt, Reynolds, but it was a sharp play by Ibarra, who Ibarra picked it up and sent the ball over to first base. So the scoring there 1-3 and out number 2. Marlena Aiden struck out her first time at bat. Takes strike 1 on the first pitch by Laura Ibarra. So the final score in that semifinals matchup, Dons versus Castle Park. Huge victory by the Dons as they pull away and beat Castle Park 9-0. Two outs. And called strike 3, and Ibarra continues to do a great job of those strikeouts. We're counting them 1, 2, 3, 4. Strikeout number 5 for Ibarra. And so after 4 full innings of play, it's still no score.
We'd like to remind those of you in attendance, T-shirt.
Top half of the 5th inning, no score. Dons at the plate. First pitch is a strike by Rogalski. Heather Egan, right fielder for the Dons. She bounced out 3-4. She'll take low, so it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. In the semifinals matchup, when the Bucks played La Jolla, Corianne Rogalski pitched a no-hitter and also hit a 2-run double. They were able to get by Ramona by a score of 1-0. Drive into right field, right into the waiting hands of Genevieve Nolte. And so the bat was put on the ball nicely, but right towards Nolte. And that'll be recorded as a fly ball and an out, number 1 for the Dons. And so we're at the top of the order. Erin Ferris, number 17, shortstop for the Dons. Ferris, that is, has bounced out twice to the shortstop in the 1st and the 3rd inning. She's now up in the 5th. At the knees, and they're going to call strike 1 against Ferris. Rounding out that game in which Mission Bay that is, Mission Bay beat Ramona 2-0. Rogalski helped her recruit her 4th no-hitter of the season. So it was Rogalski with 4 no-hitters of the season. Congratulations to a superb pitching effort during the season for Corianne Rogalski. Right here, we've got 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out in the 5th, and that's going to be called strike 2 right at the knees, and Rogalski continues to pepper heat right at the knees of Don's players. Erin Ferris, a senior for the Dons. So this will be her last at-bats this game for the Dons, or at least in a Dons uniform. Laying off some heat was Ferris, so the ball goes now count 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. Division I, Division II, Division III, Division IV, all played here at UCSD at the Triton Softball Field Complex. And now the count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and let's see what Ferris can do. And let's see what Rogalski can do. Rogalski is going to throw some heat. Fouled, racing after it was Julie Young, as late on the swing was Ferris. You just knew that Rogalski was going to throw some speed. She sets herself up with some off-speed pitches, but right now with 3 balls and 2 strikes, she's going to send the ball across the plate as fast as she can, and she's going to challenge right now Erin Ferris to put wood on the leather. This time it's low, and so Rogalski loses Ferris, and Ferris trots down to first base on a base on balls. Sky Ingles, third baseman for the Dons, struck out her first time up. On a fielder's choice, she made it safely. Getting back. Actually, in the 3rd inning, she got on a base on balls, and then she was forced out on a fielder's choice. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. You have Ferris on at first base, and taking ball number 2 low in the dirt is Ingles. On deck, Chandri Ross for the Dons. Well, we mentioned a beautiful day it is here. You can't ask for better weather. These are summer-like conditions. The beauty of it is you still have some cool weather. Taking a strike right there, so it's now 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sky Ingles. Still at first base, Erin Ferris. Sky Ingles, also a senior. One of the 4 seniors on this team. You know, the Dons getting back. The throw by Joni Colburn in an attempt to try and pick off Erin Ferris got by Julie Young, but only temporarily, as a heads-up play. Genevieve Nolte in right field was able to back up the missed ball, and Ferris was able to get back. And Ferris talking to her first base coach. If that would have been a little better throw, could have been dangerous. Joni Colburn not afraid to throw down the first base line. 1 ball. The count by the umpire. Two balls, no strikes, and 2 out. Both these teams playing out of the Western League. Dons coming in 4th place with a 7-5 record. The Buccaneers ending their league in 3rd place, 8-4. Of the box losses overall, 3 were 1-0 games, and 2 were 2-run losses to University City and San Marcos. Lost to University City 6-4 and lost to San Marcos 2-0. So Rogalski loses Ross on a base on balls, and so now we have runners at first and second, and coming up now is Nicole Ellis. Two out, top of the 5th, no score. Right now the Dons are threatening as the strike is taken by Nicole Ellis. Ross at first base. Ferris at second base. 2 out. Off-speed pitch is strike call this time. Not only does Rogalski throw the off-speed pitch to set up her next, so now the Blue, due to a base running violation, is going to be called out at first base. So the runner stepping off the base and then turning in a circle. It's obviously an obscure violation, and the Blue is now explaining the call to head coach Margaret Morrow. But she was going to be called out at first base, and that's going to be out number 3 for the Dons. So in a weird call by the Blue, Chandri Ross is called out for a violation of a base running violation. And Margaret Morrow still wants to try and figure out what's going on. And so the call stands by the Blue, third out recorded against the Dons, and we're now in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Julie Young, the first baseman for the Bucks, at the plate. Young, her second time up, first time up in the 2nd inning, she flied to the third baseman. It was a soft fly ball. Swing and a miss, records strike 1, and Ibarra throws the first strike. And as a pitcher, you really want to try and get yourself into a groove early in the start of an inning, and it really helps out when you can throw the first ball as a strike. Laying off a high pitch is Young, and so now the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year, taking a look at some of the CIF San Diego section players of the year in Division III, Jade Quinton of the Dons. 1996, it was Sam Luley of Hilltop. And right here, we've got a tremendous amount of potential players of the year, as you got the 2 top teams that have lasted through the playoff picture. They survived the first round, quarterfinals, and semifinals to get to where we are right now, which is the San Diego CIF Arco AMPM Softball Championships right here at UCSD. Bottom half of the 5th inning, no score, and number 4, Julie Young, on the plate. Behind her on deck, Rochelle Agari, that is. Agari left field for the Bucks. Swing is late, and so that bounces foul down the third baseline. That'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chopper to the shortstop. Nice throw by the shortstop, Erin Ferris. Sharp grounder. She takes on a low hop, picks it up nicely, and throws out the runner. So Young goes out 6-3. That's out number 1 for the Bucks. And now Rochelle Agari, left fielder for the Bucks. This time, huge stop. Is it going to be in time? And it's safe. Great defensive play by Erin Ferris as she moves and dives to her right on her knees using the strength of her arm, sends the ball over towards Krista Gobranson. Gobranson stretching, but just couldn't quite get there as Rochelle Agari with speed is able to beat out the throw. So now with 2 out, Amanda McGill Number 8, who plays shortstop herself for the Bucks, is at the plate. We play a full 7 innings, and you never know what's going to happen if we're going to be going towards extra innings, but you never know. You know, they say that a winning team scores more runs in 1 inning than the losing team scores in the entire game. And that happens more often than a shutout. It's interesting that they say that. Let's see if that holds up in this game. So checking the scoreboard, it says 2 outs. The blue stating and checking with each other there's only 1 out. That was the 6-3 play by Julie Young. So I took a look at that myself and called it 2 outs according to the scoreboard. But in fact, it was Julie Young's 6-3 out. There's just only now the 3rd batter of the inning, Rochelle Aguirre, on first base. The bunt is called foul as the entire team racing towards it was ready to converge on it. So now that's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count against McGill. At first base is Aguirre. She's ready to take off when the pitch is thrown. That's slicing, and that's going to drop inside. Sliding into second base is Aguirre, and with a single, it dropped right over the head of the first baseman, Cole Branson, and right in front of the charging Heather Egan. So Aguirre goes to second base. Amanda McGill on the single gets to first base, and now it's Anna Miller. So with 1 out, runners are at first and second, and Anna Miller is up. She had a sacrifice bunt her first time up, and she takes a full cut at that one, and that'll be strike 1 against Miller. So with 1 out, this is one of the better scoring threats that the Bucks have seen for their team this game. 2 men on, 1 out. Another nice cut by Anna Miller, and that's strike number 2. Standing on deck, top of the lineup, Joni Colburn. And of course, Colburn, one of the better offensive hitters on the Bucks team. Laying off a high pitch. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count. One ball, 2 strikes, and Ibarra needing to pitch herself out of what can be a jam, and this time being hit in the right shoulder is Anna Miller, and you could hear that slap as the speed of the ball made contact with her upper right shoulder. So that's going to put the bases loaded. Anna Miller hit by a pitch, comes on at first. Moving to second is Amanda McGill, and at third base, Rochelle Aguirre. And so Anna Miller trots to first base. McGill at second, Aguirre at third. Bases are loaded. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Ibarra is in a jam, and let's see what she can do with the help of her team to get out of this. Top of the order now, Joni Colburn, and behind her is Genevieve Nolte. Colburn, one of the better offensive players on the team, but behind her is Genevieve Nolte, the leader on the team in batting averages, .513. So let's see what happens right now here with Joni Colburn going up against Laura Ibarra. Miller at first, McGill at second, Aguirre at third. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. On the mound is Laura Ibarra, and a big swing and a miss by Joni Colburn. They would love, the Dons would, to be able to get a strikeout right here. Ibarra's had a bunch of them this game, so it wouldn't be uncommon to get another one right here. That's going to drop in for a single. Coming in to score. Now, Vanner's and runners trying to get back now, and there's a lot of confusion out on the field. But Joni Colburn comes up with a single, and coming in from third base is Rochelle Aguirre. And for the Bucks, they draw first blood, and they've got one run scored in the bottom half of the first. Still, bases loaded with only one out. That was a very soft hit. It just got into the grass area, past and over the shortstop's head into very, very shallow left field. Coming up on the ball was Caitlin Gulbranson. It bounced right in front of her, and that allowed Aguirre to come in and score. And once again now we've got the bases loaded. This time you've got Colburn at first, Miller at second, McGill at third, and coming up to bat, Genevieve Nolte, the offensive leader on this team during the season, batting .513. And Ibarra is going to have to work some magic here to get out of a big jam. Swing and foul back will be strike number one against Rogalski. Boy, talk about nerves of steel right now. Playing in the infield of the Dons, Gulbranson, Ellis, Ferris, and Ingalls. There's a chopper coming to the plate. And they've got him at the plate. Super, super defensive play by the Dons. Coming from her shortstop position, Erin Ferris takes a chopper and fires it home to Yvette Vasquez, and they record out number 2 at the plate. So now it's Corianne Rogalski at the plate. She takes the first pitch, and still bases loaded, sailing high. Fouls out behind, or fouls behind first baseline, nails one of the lights here. And so now conversation out on the field. Ellis and Vasquez trying to make sure that Ibarra is under control out there. One run is in, 2 outs. Julie Young, 6-3, the fielder's choice towards home, forcing Amanda Gill. And Ibarra sends one down. Another chopper right back to Ibarra, and Ibarra helps herself out, going 1-3 to get the third out. But 1 run scores, 3 athletes left on base. After 5 innings, it's the Mission Bay Buccaneers 1, the Dons nothing.
No errors, 3 left on base.
We are back with you at UCSD, their baseball's complex. And we have got a great game underway. After 5 full innings of play, it's the Mission Bay Bucks out in front of the Dons, 1-0. Coming up to the plate for the Dons, Nicole Ellis. Ellis reached safely in the first inning on an error, and then had a double at her second time up in the third. So that's what she can do right here. We would like to see some action, and here comes the throw. It's going to be a low one, and ball 1 by Rogalski. So the Dons have 6 batters, or 6 outs that is, to try and tie this one up and even take the lead. On the glass being half full for the Bucks, they've got 6 outs to record a championship right here. Ball is high, and so it's now 2 balls and no strikes to the Dons. Well, the Dons have been in this position many, many times over the past 4 years. Back in 1994, it was Margaret Morrow and the Dons going up against Hilltop. The game went 15 innings with the Dons edging out Hilltop 1-0. There's that changeup by Rogalski, and now you know what's going to happen right now. Rogalski is going to throw some heat, and we'll see what Nicole Ellis can do with it. 3 balls, 1 strike. Heat comes in. Chopper back to Rogalski. Easy throw to first base, and 1-3 it goes, and Nicole Ellis records out number 1 on the grounder for the Dons. Now it's Laura Ibarra. And so now it's Rogalski going up against Laura. Right in there at the knees for strike 1. Top of the 6th, 1 out. Nobody on right now. Laura Ibarra at the plate. Nice job by the catcher, Joni Colburn, to try and box that pitch, but it's going to be low, so it's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, Yvette Vasquez. And behind her, it's the designated hitter, Zakara Beverly. Swing and a miss for strike number 2 to Ibarra. And Rogalski with an opportunity to throw the off speed. Let's see what she does. Throws it high, trying to get Ibarra to chase. She lays off of it. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Appeal to the first base side. He says no, she did not swing, and so the count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of the other players on the Dons team on the roster. That was close. They call it 3 balls, 2 strikes. You have Nicole Howard, Lynn Warnamunde, Maria Santani, and Katie Hess on the bench if needed. Right now, the starting lineup remains. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Chopper to the shortstop. Nice throw. Moving to her left was Amanda McGill, and she has had some busy action today, throwing out Ibarra 6-3, and that'll be out number 2 in this top half of the 6th inning. Yvette Vasquez, catcher for the Dons, and now we have a meeting out on the mound. Vasquez at the plate. 2 outs, top of the 6th, 1-0. Bucks out in front of the Dons. We talked about the Dons in 1994 and 1995. They came back and beat Hilltop again, but it wasn't 15 innings. It was 16 innings that time. 1996, it was Hilltop and La Jolla going at it. And then in 1997, the Dons came back again with Margaret Morrow, and they edged Sarah High School by a score of 1-0 in 7 innings. Right now, the Dons down by 1. Off-speed pitch called strike. And you got to worry about that pitch. The batter's seeing heat off the arm of Corianne Rogalski. Then they see that off-speed stuff and not sure what to do with it. We've never seen Rogalski throw 2 off-speeds in a row. Usually what she'll do is she'll throw an off-speed, and then she'll come right back with some heat on a riser to try and get him to chase. Let's see what she does right here. Sharp grounder again to the sure-handed Amanda McGill, and 2 times in a row it goes 6-3, and for the Dons, they go 1-2-3 in the top half of the 6th. And after 5.5, it is the Dons 0, Bucks 1, and Bucks now coming up offensively to round out this bottom half of the 6th inning. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Bucks out in front 1-0, and up at the plate is Amanda Reynolds, second baseman for the Bucks. Reynolds 0 for 2 tonight, grounded out 5-3 and 1-3. And Reynolds takes ball number 2 from Ibarra. Dons trying to repeat as champions, and there's a base hit up through center field, and Amanda Reynolds gets on base in the bottom half of the 6th. Nice ball right back up the middle, splitting between the second baseman and shortstop. Neither one had a chance for it. Ellis was the closest, but it was scooting up the field quite rapidly. Went into center field, taken by Chandri Ross, and that's a single for Amanda Reynolds.
11, Jill Schagel.
And so now batting for number 13, Marlena Aiden, is number 11, Jill Schagel. Bunt laid down to second, and it's a nice heads-up play by the Dons as they turn the force on Amanda Reynolds. Reaching safely on the fielder's choice is Jill Schagel. Out number 1 recorded again on a good heads-up play.
Ferris gets out the runner at second.
So 1 out, bottom half of the 6th at first base.
Number 13, Marlena Aiden re-enters for number 11. Jill.
Marlena Aiden back into the game, runner at first base.
Aiden is the runner at first base.
So Aiden at first base, and now batting Julie Young, number 4. She is the first baseman for the Bucks. Young flied out her first time and then grounded out 6-3. Batting at the plate, Young with the attempt to bunt goes foul, and so that'll be strike number 1 against her. They're going to try and advance the runner at first base, Marlena Aiden. Aiden didn't bat, coming in for her to bat, and there's a nice ball right towards center field. Taking it easily is the center fielder, Chandri Ross, and that'll be out number 2 on the fly ball by Julie Young. So it's a fly to center field. And scheduled to appear is Rochelle Aguirre. So Aguirre is at the plate. She's the left fielder. She had a single. She came around and scored in the 5th inning, and that's the lone run that we have in this game. So Rochelle Aguirre at the plate, struck out her first time, reached safely on a single in the 5th inning, came around and scored in that productive 1st inning. Long throw by the third baseman, Sky Ingles, and that retires the Bucks. So a grounder going 5-3 ends the 6th inning, and so after 6 innings of play, it's the Bucks 1, the Dons nothing.
No runs, 1 hit.
Top half of the 7th inning for the Dons. They have got 3 outs left to try and put some magic on the bases and score a run and at least tie this up. Going all the way so far for the Bucks is the magic of Corianne Rogalski. Rogalski really doing a fine job with her pitching today at the plate. Designated hitter for the Dons, Zikara Beverly, number 3. Beverly has struck out twice in the 2nd and the 4th inning. I'll tell you, one of the key elements to this game right now stands out to be the very rare, if not weird, call by the umpire, the blue in the field, that called Chandri Ross out because of some type of base running violation. At that point in time, there was 2 people on at first and second. There was 2 out, and a swing and a miss, and that is the hat trick for Zakara Beverly as she records her 3rd strikeout of the game. Now down to 2 outs are the Dons. Krista Gulbranson will be replaced by Lynn Warnamunde. Warnamunde will be batting in the place of number 20, Krista Gulbranson.
Number 12, Lynn Warnamunde.
Warnamunde coming off the bench to try and add a spark to this Dons offense. They need base runners, and they need them bad.
This is a world famous Mission Bay pitcher.
Corianne Rogalski moved from her home in Virginia and came on board to Mission Bay, and she has been dominant all this season. Rogalski recorded her 4th no-hitter of the season as she helped propel her team past Ramona in a score of 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. And for Warnamunde, she wants to do anything she can do to get on base. At this point in time, she's probably going to watch some heat sail by. She does. Strike called, so now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. I'll tell you who's been really busy in the defense department for the Bucks has been number 8, shortstop Amanda McGill. She's had to handle quite a few grounders. And that's going to be called ball 3, just below the knees. And once again, Lynn Warnamunde, with allowing to have only 1 strike on her, is going to probably watch one go by. And called strike 2. So Rogalski comes up big with the screamer right across the plate when she has to. And now the count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lynn Warnamunde has to protect the plate. Anything coming across. And slices a foul back. Good cut by Warnamunde to stay alive. 1 out in the top half of the 7th. 3 balls, 2 strikes against Warnamunde. The Bucks out in front of the Dons 1-0. Dons down to their final 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Holding up. And oh man. Warnamunde called out on a strike. She couldn't hold up on the start of her swing as the bat crossed the plate, and a huge strikeout by the pitcher for the Bucks, Rogalski. And now for the Dons, it's Heather Egan. Egan, last out coming up for the Dons. They're in a pickle, and they've got to do something now. Egan flied out her last time. And a strike called. So now we're down to the last out, the last strike for the Dons. Heather Egan at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. And for Corianne Rogalski, she needs to find the strike zone one more time. It'll be all over for the Dons. Chopper up the middle, beating it out and staying alive. Heather Egan, with 2 strikes on her, is able to eke out a grounder up the middle for a base hit. And the Dons, with 2 out in the top of the 7th, stay alive. Top of the order. And we have a base runner now for the Dons.
Substituting in for the runner,
Katie Hess. Katie Hess, base runner now for Heather Egan. And so Hess will be the base runner at first base. At the plate, Aaron Ferris. Ferris has been up 3 times, grounded out twice to the shortstop, got a base on balls her last time up. Rogalski stays in the game as pitcher, and we're going to see some heat. And right at the knees, they're going to call that strike 1. We'll see if Rogalski comes back with some off-speed stuff to try and set up the final strike. Strike called against Ferris. Change-up. That one's going to be low, and so now we'll see if Rogalski comes right back with the heat. If memory serves me right, she's going to come back with some heat right here. Gets by everybody, moving down to second, the throw, and they've got her. So on a passed ball, gets by Joni Colburn. Taking off from first base was Katie Hess, and then Haiti Hess, with the help of the throw from Colburn to Reynolds, is tagged out, and the Mission Bay Buccaneers edge out the Dons by a score of 1-0, and it'll be the Mission Bay Dons with the head coach of David Cochran will be crowned the San Diego CIF ARCO AM/PM 1998 Division III champions. Congratulations goes to the head coach Dave Cochran, his assistant John Reynolds, and the entire team. Superb pitching by Corianne Rogalski, superb infielding, especially by a busy Amanda McGill, and the rest of the team, Amanda Reynolds, Joni Colburn, Julie Young, Candace Lamar. Of course, you've got all the rest of them as well. Yvette Vasquez. Coming off the field, also, Marlena Aiden, Julie Young, Rochelle Gary, Amanda McGill, Anna Miller, Catherine Turpin, Jill Shagel, Candace Lamar, Melissa Dufek. And now you see the team there. Final score in 7 innings of play. Bucks crown the 1998 champions by defeating the University Dons 1-0.
Number 3, outfielder, designated hitter, Zakara Beverly. Number 4, outfielder, Caitlin Gilbranson. Number 6, outfielder, Maria Santani. Number 7, utility player, Katie Hess. Number 8, pitcher, Laura Ibarra. Number 9, second baseman, Nicole Ellis. Number 10, third baseman, Sky Engel. Number 11, outfielder, Heather Egan. Number 12, outfielder, Lynn Warnamundi. Third baseman, number 14, Nicole Howard. Number 15, outfielder, Sheandri Ross. Number 17, shortstop, Erin Ferris. And first baseman, number 20, Krista Gulbranson. The Dons assistant coaches, Kelly O'Neill, Claire Alves, Tasha Egan. And to accept the honor plaque for the University of San Diego High School Dons, head coach, Margaret Morrow. Congratulations to the Dons on their second place finish in Division III Softball Championships. Now we direct your attention near the first base line to present the award to the 1998 Division III champion, Mission Bay Buccaneers. Number 3, catcher Jody Cooper. Number 4, first baseman Julie Young. Number 5, outfielder Melissa Dufek. Number 6, third baseman Candace Lamar. Number 7, outfielder Kathy Turpin. Number 8, shortstop Amanda Miguel. Number 9, pitcher Corianne Rogoski. Number 11, outfielder Jill Singer. Number 12, outfielder Rochelle Maguri. Number 13, third baseman Marlena O'Reilly. Number 14, outfielder Anna Miller. And second baseman, number 15, Genevieve Nancy. The Buccaneers assistant coach, John Reynolds. And the